Hey everyone, this is Sheila Joe, and welcome to my channel. All things said are alleged, and in my opinion. And please hit the like button, share, and subscribe, and leave some comments in the comment section. I'm continuing with this Laterris Whitfield and Tony Gaskin situation, and Tony Gaskin did do a response on his Instagram live, and basically I also want to clarify, because I may have misspoke on one of my previous videos when I said that Tony Gaskin is doing a series called The Little Ugly Spirit. I didn't say the exact title, but that's in the title of his videos. And I didn't want to imply that he was name calling Laterris as Little Ugly. He's just describing this type of spirit as little ugly. Anyway, I wanted to clarify that, but then I also want you guys to hear Tony Gaskin's IG live, because he says it's much bigger than just pointing the finger at one particular podcast, that several people have this little ugly spirit, and he's trying to make everyone aware of this, because that's what his message is. Anyway, here is his live. You guys tell me your thoughts, and as usual, make sure you hit that like button, share, and subscribe. This is Sheila Joe, and I'm out. You guys have a wonderful day.
Hey, Tony Gaskins here. Just popping in. Want to touch on something really quick, because I had to block two more people who are still stuck on a situation. The other day, I called out a podcaster. I was actually talking about a pastor who divorced his wife and got remarried. And I was talking about another pastor who divorced his wife and got remarried. And I was talking about another guy who went through two divorces and is, he's giving relationship advice, but hasn't gotten it right or implemented the advice he's giving. And people go on the same podcast, and I'm sitting and I'm wondering, like, why is there a space where you have no accountability and everybody's just trying to say, oh, everybody could say something, everybody can give advice, but what's happening is, in this space, there are women who are broken, women who are hurting, women who are lost. They coming in, they're looking at these men, and they are connecting with these men. And then these men who are single, they sleeping with these women, but they calling themselves a man of God. And so I said the name of a podcaster, and a lot of people got up in arms because of what I said and how I said it. Not understanding that that's just how I communicate. That's just my thoughts, my feelings. And I stand on that. And what they're forgetting is that the individual that I mentioned is claiming to be a man of God, but sleeping with the followers, sleeping with women in fornication after sitting with pastors and bishops. And I just don't think that should be. I don't think we should be playing in God's face. I don't think that we should be talking about something. It's kind of like if you talk about finance. So we got the big podcast, EYL. They take care of business. They do their thing. They talking about finance. But imagine if they were talking about finance and then they were going out and taking people's money, like telling people, hey, I got an investment for you. And then they invest and then they run off on them. It's the same thing if men are talking about love and relationships and creating spaces to talk about love and relationships, and then they sleeping with the women who coming to get help. And that right there, that angers me. But the thing about this is I moved on from that, and I'm on this series talking about this spirit of deception, but everybody assumes that I'm still talking about that guy. And I'm like, I'm not thinking about him. Y'all keep bringing the guy name to me. I don't care nothing about that guy. He got to answer to God for living in fornication after sitting with bishops and pastors and being friends with bishops and pastors, but can't come out of sin. He got to answer to God. I'm not talking about him. The Little Ugly series is about the spirit that is rampant in the body of Christ. I'm talking to the guy who goes to the church with 25 members and he done slept with 3 other women in there and he a deacon. I'm talking to the principal and the head coach who are men of God, but they cheating on their wife. I'm talking to the men who are telling women that they need to lay down with them and have sex with them and be in a sexual covenant with them, even though they know the woman trying to walk with God. But this woman is submitting to these men and getting in the bed because they feel like if they don't sleep with the man, then the man gonna leave them. I'm not talking to no raggedy podcaster. I'm not even thinking about no raggedy podcaster. Y'all keep bringing the man name up. This way bigger than him. Ain't nobody worried about that. So stay out my comments. And if you are so blind that you will sit up under men who claim to be one thing and then show you another, and then they come tell you that they are fraud, tell you that they are not living the message that all of their friends and family and guests are preaching, and they disrespecting God, disrespecting their friends and family by living in willing sin. If you will sit there and listen to somebody, you deserve everything that's coming to you. But stay off my page. We doing a work in the body and you focusing on minute detail. But people don't understand that's what the Spirit does. It says, hey, focus on the fact that I was offended because Tony Gaskins said something about my birth name. Let's focus on that. But I want you to not think about the fact that I'm promoting God and claiming to be a man of God, but then living in fornication. Let's not focus on that. Let's not focus on the act that could create HIV, herpes, get somebody pregnant, the act that's creating broken homes, the act that's mocking God, the act that is deceiving women, manipulating. Let's not focus on that. Let's focus on the fact that Tony Gaskins said he don't like my name. Like, let's be real. Like, be real. But that is what the Spirit does. It deflects and it projects in order to hide in plain sight. And that's how people are being deceived. So listen, that's something you got to take up with yourself. And one of you come on my page, you're getting blocked. So you might as well save your little dissertations and all of that. Look, I said what I said. And I stand on what I said. When I see a man, I evaluate a man, I read a man, I look at his spirit, and how I feel about him is how I feel about him. And you better be glad that I didn't use other words and other names, because I could have used way worse words. I could have used way worse. I could have came up with all kind of stuff, because one thing I don't play by is when we playing with God. You could play with me. You play with my name. You can spit on my name, but don't be out here playing with a deity, a power that people are looking up to, worshiping, trying to get closer to, and y'all playing in the name of the Lord. Y'all deceiving and manipulating in the name of the Lord. Y'all talking about God told you this, God told you that. God okay with you living in willing sin and wallowing in sin and being a filthy sinner, oh, don't judge me. When if you truly believe in God, then you know God can grant you the power to walk uprightly and to walk the way you're supposed to be walking. So please understand that I am not thinking about no raggedy podcasters and these false teachers and all of these people. This Spirit is bigger than that. And as I'm addressing this stuff, if the shoe fit, wear it. A hit dog holler. But I'm not finna be talking about, oh, I'm so sorry about saying something about somebody's name, when it's women crying because they went to a space that they thought they finna learn about godly relationships, and then they end up in a defiled bed in fornication from the speakers and the teachers that's sitting on the couch doing the interviews, and from the host of these podcasts. And it ain't just one podcast. We got podcasts with all kind of people running their mouth and don't know what they talking about. And the men is setting up. And if you look at these men, you will realize when you look at these men, you could tell what they doing and why they're doing it. Because if it wasn't true, then they would not be in fornication. They would not have to admit to fornication. The reason why fornication is getting admitted to is because of voices like mine, and they start to shaking they like, I don't want to get exposed. What if one of these women come tell that I'm actually going against God and not living what the people I'm around is preaching? And just because I'm not saying it don't mean I'm exempt and I could live in this type of sin, but claim to be something else. Like, man, shut up. Get out my face. Stop with all these excuses. Ain't no grown man finna be sitting up crying about what another man said about his name. It's like, get real. Like, we men. And then, especially the man y'all talking about, he told me he used to shoot at people and he used to get shot at. That man don't care nothing about what I'm talking about, what no name. But what he care about is deflecting from the fact that he is promoting one thing and living another. And I'm calling it out. And I'm not going to shut up. And I don't know. And this series might go on forever. But what you got to realize, the series ain't about one person. And if you ever take the time and get out your ignorance and take that wool off your eyes and that blindness off your eyes, and you even look at a comment, you're going to see men and women saying, man, you describing my ex. Man, you describing the person I was with. Man, you describing my friend, how my friend be doing me. This spirit is bigger than that. But people who feel little, people who feel insignificant, they try to take something and make it about them. They try to take everything and make it about them. The same way how a man know when I'm talking about him because I say his name, you messing with the wrong one. If I want to say somebody's name, if it's just about them and for them, I'm going to say their name. Like what I look like. When you ever seen me scared? When you ever seen me not give a message because somebody offended? Godly sorrow leads to repentance. Worldly sorrow leads to death. If you upset by the way somebody's name was addressed or how I feel about somebody's name, that is worldly sorrow. But you're not mad about the women being deceived, the women being slept with, the women who going into these audiences and they believe in the people that's sitting up there and then they paying thousands and thousands of dollars for a fake course that was created by ChatGPT. And then they taking and they investing in real estate funds and investing in different ventures and losing $30,000. I'm the one who working with these people. I'm working with people who done lost $30,000, all this different money because they went to a podcaster, sit on the stage, listen to one of the people talking, then go buying courses and investing in the people. I'm the one working with the people who after they done sit and listen to all this talking. Next thing you know, they end up deceived and in a defiled bed because they put trust in there. We got women who are delusional. We got women who are desperate. We got women who can't see the forest for the trees. It's been about 30, 40, 50 women that done come to my page talking about, oh, you said something about this man's name and that's his birth name. Okay, and he a grown man who is sinning against God. Better be glad I'm talking about his name instead of God laying his butt down. Talking about all of this right here. Oh, I love the Lord and I'm all this, but I'm imperfect. How you going to let somebody spit in your face and then you sit there and just stand there? How you going to let somebody tell you that they finna play in your face? Tell you they finna play with the name of God. Tell you that they finna sit with this bishop, sit with that bishop, sit with this pastor, sit with that pastor, sit with this woman who'd have been abused, who'd have been cheated on, who'd have been dogged out and kiki in her face, then get up and go get in fornication. You sound stupid. Like, really wake up. But then people get so sensitive. You listening to music that's all kind of cussing, all kind of killing. And then you want to come to me talking about, oh, you picking on a man's birth name. You watching TV shows that is ratchet and filthy. You listening to music that is written by people that is in satanic worship. You going to concerts with satanic worship and then come to me talking about, oh, you picking on another man's name. That was one sentence in an hour and a half conversation, but that's what the Spirit does. the spirit deflects, because the spirit don't want you to focus on the hypocrisy in the body. The spirit don't want you to focus on the blasphemy in the body. So the spirit wants to have personal offense to create a line of defense of delusional and deceived women, to send them out as a front line to go fight their battles in the physical world and ignore what's going on in the spiritual world. You better sit down and get in your Bible. You go to my YouTube and you look at the community page where I posted a little passage from my reading this morning. Where was I at 4:45 a.m.? I was in my word. If God got a message to get to me, He not finna send it through no delusional person who is sitting up under somebody who is a walking hypocrite, who is sleeping with women, but claiming to know God, to want to know God, to love God, and got friends and family who are walking with God, but yet living in willing sin over and over and over. God not finna send me no message from somebody who is that delusional, who can't see a spirit playing right in their face. Like, get a life. Get a life. Like, I'm not worried about that. It's like, if you call by God and you love the Lord and you do the work of the Lord, then you already know that if you are pure and you doing work, it's gonna be opinions about you. You already know that. So I'm not gonna get offended by what somebody's saying about me. Somebody wrote me the other night, like, Tony, yeah, people going live about you. You know what I did? I just could read that right there. I deleted the message. I ain't even opened the message. I'm not going to check on nobody live. But this is the thing. You already know how humans are today. How in the world you gonna fight somebody battle like you defending somebody who is, you don't know how they living behind closed doors, and defending people who will come out and tell you. We got podcasters today and leaders today and people in influence today. Hey, I'm going to everybody. I'm not talking to one person. I'm talking to the spirit that is running rampant. Do you think the one man who keep claiming, oh, he struggled with fornication, you think he the only one? You think I'm finna dedicate my hard-earned time to address one person when this is happening all over the world, and I have to deal with the fallout of it every day? When there's women on the phone crying to me about this person, this deacon, this leader, this author, this speaker, this football coach, this basketball coach, this celebrity man who done deceived her, played her, future fake her, hung a ring in her face, and then y'all want to sit here as grown people. We come out of slavery. We done been shot at. We got kids dying in the street. We got kids killing kids. We got all kinds of stuff. We got women being raped. We got women being beat. And here y'all, you talked about his birthday. What? We done grew up on the schoolyard getting talked on, getting picked on, getting everything. You talked about his birthday. God changed people's name. Your name was this, now your name this. I don't like your name. Your name was Saul, now you Paul. We talking about a name. I need to call Allen Iverson on here. We talk about a name. When you got women who could catch spiritually transmitted diseases sitting out here in the audience because they sleeping with the podcast host. You got women who could catch sexually transmitted diseases. Women who could have soul ties for the rest of their life. Women who could be on her last leg. Women who got trauma, so much trauma, they say, I'm not fit to be a wife. And the man say, yeah, you right. Let me go ahead and let me go sit down and cry about it to everybody. So once again, I could be a victim. And, the lady say I'm too good to be her husband. So yeah, you right. Sit over there by yourself. Keep struggling. Even though I'm out here in fornication and doing all of this right here. Yeah, stay on over there. Let me go and keep on going. And all this future faking. All this right here going on. But all that is ignored to focus on what I said about somebody's name. But not having the history and the biography and understanding why I say what I say and how I read spirits, how I read people, how I look at people. And that's what you got to realize. And people talking about, oh, you judgmental. It ain't just, it's accountability. The judge has a gavel. When the judge hit the gavel, you got eternity in heaven or you got eternity in hell. I'm not a judge. I'm a sounding board. I'm accountability. I'm sending the warning message. I'm sending the warning shots. Get right before you get destroyed. Stop playing with the name of God. Stop playing in God's face. That's the problem with Christianity today. You see in other religions, you play with they deity, you lose your actual life. We as Christians, we want to sit and we let the adversary put the wool over our eyes and we fall victim under the thing of thou shalt not. It don't even say thou shalt not judge. It tell you not to judge because how you judge, you gonna be judged. So it tell you to get what's in your eye out of your eye before you try to help somebody else get out of their eye. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing, because I'm 100% faithful to my wife. But I used to have that spirit, what I'm calling little ugly, when I was 18 to 21. And I'm still seeing that spirit in men who are 35 and 40, 43 years old. Men who done already been married and messed up the marriage, but still got the same spirit. Still ain't learned no lesson. That's who I'm talking to. I'm calling the little boy that the demons is dealing with inside these grown-bodied men. I'm calling that out the body. But y'all want to sit here and talk, oh, I don't like your delivery. Listen, how you don't like how a man call out another man and talk to another man, you going to appreciate it when a man going upside your head. You're going to appreciate it when a man sticking his thing in you, then going and sticking his thing in somebody else. You're going to appreciate it if it's your daughter sitting in that congregation and that man who got a platform is playing on your daughter, playing on your niece, playing on your sister, playing on your mama. You're going to appreciate it then. Don't tell a man to hold a man accountable and then try to tell a man how to hold a man accountable. And then focus on the minute and ignore the major. You're majoring in the minor. Oh, you said something about somebody's birth name and the person who gave them their name, they done went on to heaven. Everybody got to go to heaven, and everybody who got a name, the person who named them got to go to heaven. But what we talking about is eternity. We talking about salvation. We not focused on a name. Your name should be child of God. And if it ain't child of God, you shouldn't be worrying about it. Get your life right. Get out that sin. Stop being apologetic. Stop just, oh, yeah, I'm imperfect. I'm all this, y'all. But hey, y'all forgive the fact that I'm blaspheming God. Y'all forgive the fact that I'm in fornication when I'm sitting around all this holy people and all these people preaching a good word. Y'all forgive that. Y'all forgive all that and just focus on the fact that somebody called me out and somebody don't like my name. Just focus on that. Yeah, I got to go to a meeting.